What if the only thing standing between you and your next income raise is the scripts inside of your head? That's right. You actually have internal scripts that you always use, and they're running the show all the time. I'm Cathy Pidwell, for those of you that don't know me, and I coach entrepreneurs and sales professionals on how to get really rapid results by mastering their mindset. So, I find in a lot of sales trainings that it's about, oh, let's give you the scripts. And of course, today we have AI and we have tons of coaches and how to, and there is so much information out there today. However, information doesn't always equal an alignment for you to implement the thing and get the transformation you're seeking. I hope that makes sense. Because when you understand that somebody can hand you a script, let's say, and you want to study the script and you want to get good at reading it and closing people, and I know I was taught all that stuff, I can tell you I didn't love scripts. So tell me if you love scripts. Put a comment in the comments below and say, love scripts or don't love scripts. So some people say, well, I use them as a guideline and they try to get the bulk of it, but then when they get into the actual implementation of it, they're not able to read a script. So I'm going to share with you and help you identify your script, because here's the reality. A lot of people resist scripts. They don't like scripts. They're uncomfortable with them. Some people love them. Again, everybody's different. But did you know you have an internal script? You have these scripts in your head that I promise you, every time you meet a person and they say, what do you do? And then you tell them what you do. That is your natural internal script that you're sharing, that you're telling or selling to the people you're communicating with, right? You might be calling a prospect or a client. Let's say you've already met with the person and they liked you and they needed to think about it, or, have you follow up. I guarantee you when you follow up, you have a script you follow. You say the same thing. You get in these habitual patterns. And then it's interesting because a lot of people think, well, I don't like scripts. Well, you have an inner script. But if you don't know what that script, that subconscious script, by the way, because it's on autopilot, is saying or conveying or landing for the other person, right? How they're hearing it, how they're digesting it, then it becomes kind of a thing you get familiar with, but it might not be getting you the impact and the outcome and the income that you want. Okay. So I want to help you identify these scripts. You have more than one. And obviously, on a YouTube video here for 10 minutes, I'm not going to be able to dive super deep into every single script, but I'm going to help you identify maybe the top two so that you can start to see where this plays out, how you're communicating, where you might be perhaps stopping yourself. And I'm going to give you an example of this for myself. So I am a master of neurolinguistic programming and I'm a master hypnotherapist. And when it comes to business, and I would be out speaking or going to business things, people would say, Kepi, what do you do? And back in the day, not so much anymore today, but back in the day, I didn't like sharing that I was a hypnotherapist because people would get really weird about it, right? They'd be, oh, are you going to make me, do all these crazy things, yada, yada, yada. And it was just awkward and weird because it wasn't common. It wasn't popular. So I had to change the name. I changed my script, right? I do mindset mastery. I help people hit their goals 10 times faster than traditional training. I rewire people's mindset to get more success. So, and I still use some of those scripts, right? Because they work. People don't really want to hear about the hypnotherapy part and the process and the how to. That's what I went to school for, right? So it's really all about the result. Do you want to make money 10 times faster? Do you want to get your goals 10 times faster? I help people get there. So it's really figuring out the script that's going to serve you. But many years ago, I could feel myself kind of shrink or step back when it came to the, hypnosis conversation or that type of thing. So it's important to then identify, so what do you share with people that you do? And how do you share that? Is it a solution, or is it like, I'm an attorney, or I'm a coach, or I help people? A lot of financial planners do this. I find when I speak to those audiences, they say stuff like, I'm a financial mentor, or, they kind of try to use the word and avoid the financial planner conversation. So it's just kind of interesting. So here's what I want you to do. Identify your current script. What do you say and how do you convey, right? And then go on ChatGPT or go somewhere else and say, how can I communicate and let this land for the listener in a way that they understand what I do? Okay. It's really powerful because the listener is the receiver, but because you're so familiar with the script and you've gotten good at it, it might not always land right. So I'm going to give you another example. I was at this networking thing I was speaking at like a month ago, and people got up and introduced themselves. And, there's a lot of people that do these little things that I think are catchy and cute and whatever, but I can tell you for me, it would not work for me. I am so straight and to the point, and I don't want to be like, "Oh, I'm happy Cappy and I'm going to blah 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 blah," whatever. It just doesn't work for me personally, right? It's like I help you get rapid results 10 times faster than traditional training. Something like that is more effective for me personally. So how I go about that, of course, through the hypnotherapy and the NLP and the processing and all the products and stuff I make for people, that's a whole nother deal once people start working with me. But the bottom line is getting you a result. So you want to rewrite your script and practice it, right? Get comfortable conveying and communicating that thing that's going to solve a problem for a person, right? So how I solve people's problems is a lot of coaching takes 12 months. I'm like, 12 months? And then you're committed to that monthly payment, whatever. I'm like, I can get you there in 8 weeks or 12 weeks. My longest program is 12 weeks. So that is really interesting for people, right? So that makes me different. I do hypnosis. I do rapid change in the subconscious mind. I rewire people. So that outcome for a person to spend 3 months with me or 2 months with me versus 12, that's a big difference because they can go make that money back tenfold within that short duration of time of 12 months even, yeah? So what problem do you solve, right? What pain point do you provide a solution to? And then script it to where it lands for the other individual. Okay, so that's one script. Another script you have is through either a following up, I find with a lot of my clients. We've all heard the old saying, there's a fortune on the follow up, right? And it's true. But a lot of people don't know how to move the mark. So they leave messages like, hey, I was just checking in, wanted to see if you talked to your husband or whatever. That is a script, okay? It's a familiar way you communicate and convey something. Same thing. Find out how to have 3 of those follow-up conversations. And here's the key to follow-up, you guys. I don't follow up a lot. I will do 1 or 2 reach outs, but I'm not going to bombard somebody because here's what I know about human behavior. People who want something, who want change, who want outcomes, they're very driven and they'll make a decision. I would much rather have somebody say, no, this isn't for me and move on than sit on a fence for 90 days, 60 days, whatever, because fence sitters are just indecisive about everything. So really, when you have your script, you want to help that person make a decision. So here's what I say, and you can use this, go into chat, make it yours, right? Here's what I say to people. Yeah, you want to work with me. You want to figure out, how to get the results. And sometimes people are like, well, I got to get the money to pay you, whatever, because that money conversation's been so thick. They don't know how to break the money pattern. So that's sometimes an issue for people. But most of the time that people that work with me, they're like, Cappy, I'm in, let's go. So here's what I tell people that are maybe, their potential, they want to make a decision. Here's what I tell them. You know what? You're going to decide with your old mindset, which probably tells you to stay where you're at, save your money, limit yourself. And I promise you in a year, you're going to be exactly where you are right now. It's true, because that old loop of limited thinking or whatever they're telling themselves about money and time and all the other internal things that they have going on, they've said it for years. So I tell them, give yourself 10 hours. Think about it, analyze it, and go with your gut. If after 10 hours or even 5 hours, but don't sit there for stay stuck in the story. So my job is to create a script, if you will, a conversation, convey a message to people that I have very limited space. I don't work with everybody and anybody. I'm very picky. It's why I meet people on Zoom to make sure we're a good fit for one another, because I know how to get people there very rapidly. If they're coachable, if they're willing, if they do the work, they get the results, right? But not everybody's there. And I'm not going to drag anybody up a hill or be like, you got to work with me. No. So your script should convey the problem you solve, help them get off the fence, help them make a decision, whether it's yes or no. I'm really good with either because I know the right clients always end up aligning with me. And my clients become my friends. They become people that end up staying in my community and connected and those types of things. So understand you have these inner scripts and they either stop you, they either maybe keep you at that same income level, or they prevent you from your growth. So do those two things. Look at those two areas. And if you want to do this on your own, pick a third area that you have a common conversation in and do the same thing. What do you say? How do you say it? What do you do? Do you do a few and then you stop, or you think, oh, they don't want to hear from me, or I don't want to bug them anymore, or, what's happening internally in your script so that then you can delete the script, right? Rewrite something, practice it till it feels familiar for you, and then you can go communicate that level of conversation. Because let's face it, we're having conversations with people all day long, right? Some of those conversations are enriching, they're fun, they feel great, you have a great connection. Other conversation, you're like, next, right? Thanks, bye, hi, bye, next, right? So, but it's just that alignment, right? It's that energy factor. So if your scripts are clear, you're clear on what you're conveying, the problem you're solving, how you're helping people. I know for me, again, it's rapid. It's rapid results, more money, more outcomes, more income. That's important for people to hear, not just that I'm a hypnotist, right? I do mindset, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, go rewrite your scripts because that is the only thing standing between you and your next raise, right? Get rid of those inner narratives that are keeping you stuck or keeping you stagnant or suppressing your income, and know that you're capable of infinite, infinite, infinite income, infinite energy, infinite outcomes. There's a big world out there waiting for your genius, I promise. And I say, I have my lane, someone else has their lane, and I always love to partner with those people that are really good at something because I'm really good at this thing. And then the listener, the learner, gets so much value from that, right? So anyway, I hope that helps. Upgrade your inner scripts, you guys. Chat is great for that type of thing. It will do the writing. You just got to do the learning and then the deliverable. Yeah. All right. I hope to see you on my next video. Again, please comment, like. I'm really working on growing my YouTube channel. I've had it forever, but I've just been on here making new videos for entrepreneurs and business leaders that really want to have a breakthrough in their business. So thanks so much, and I will see you on my next video.